Most beginner DJs quit, not because they can't do it, but because they don't really understand what they're walking into. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or like you're not progressing the way you thought you would, this video is going to show you exactly why that happens and, more importantly, how to make sure that's not you. Because if you fix even one of these things, you instantly separate yourself from most beginners. Let's jump in. Okay, let's start with the biggest one. Most people come into DJing with the wrong expectations. You see clips online, transitions, James Hype doing crazy things, A-Track doing all sorts of cool things, or Jazzy Jeff doing what he does, crowds going crazy, and it looks easy. It looks like you're just pressing buttons. You're just moving a platter back and forth. But what you don't see is the timing, the phrasing, understanding your music, reading the energy, and those 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 hours that have gone into making it look easy. So you think to yourself, I'll be mixing in a week. I'll be doing some of those transitions in a week. And then a week goes by and it doesn't sound how you expected. And that's where the frustration starts to kick in. And in fact, you don't even know what all of the knobs and buttons do on the controller, and it becomes really overwhelming. But here's the truth: you did not fail. Your expectations were just off. The next reason most beginners quit, it's overwhelm. There's just too much, way too much information. And you're trying to do too much too fast. You're trying to learn your controller, every knob, every button on your controller. You're trying to learn your software, what every menu does, every setting, how to calibrate all of these pieces. You're learning transitions, effects, and maybe even scratching, and you're learning it all at the same time. On top of that, you're watching YouTube videos from 10 different creators, including myself, all teaching things in a completely different order. By the way, much love to all of the fellow YouTube creators that are out there who are trying to help this next generation of DJs, but it can be completely overwhelming, especially when you're getting so many different opinions. So instead of progressing, you feel stuck, and eventually you stop. But here's the reality. The problem isn't that DJing is too hard. It's that you don't have a clear path, step by step, helping you figure out I need to crawl before I walk. I need to walk before I jog. I need to jog before I run. If you don't have that type of progression, you're just learning in some random order. And of course, you're feeling overwhelmed. Now, let's talk about the one I hear all the time, which is I just don't have time. I get it. You've got work, family, kids, responsibilities. You've got so many things that you have on your plate. But here's the truth: it's not about having more time, it's about having a plan with the time that you do have. Efficiency, really making the most of the time that you have. I personally, I've got 4 kids at home. I've got a wife. I've got multiple hats that I wear, in addition to being able to make content here on YouTube for all of you that are out there. I'm running different elements of our business constantly. There's so much going on that I can feel very overwhelmed by all of it. But the truth is, as much as I want to wish that I could have 2 more hours in the day and have a 26-hour day, it's just not possible. So instead, we need to really make the most of the time we do have, because a focused 20 to 30 minute practice session will beat a random 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour binge session every single time. It's not about practicing more. It's about making more out of your practice time you do have. If you just sit down and mess around, you're not actually building skill. But if you sit down with intention, even a short session moves you forward. And that's what this is about: forward progress. Many of us have seen this, where you go to a gym. Many of us have maybe even been guilty of this, where you go to a gym and your intention was to work out and do a workout, but now you end up on the phone, sending text messages back, scrolling Instagram, doing all of that. And in your mind, you're like, I was at the gym for 2 hours today. But what What do you have to show for it? And maybe because you were at the gym for 2 hours one day, now you skip the gym the next day. It's about consistency and less time, like shorter time bursts over longer time, actually builds better habits. And those better habits are going to help you gain progress and momentum. This one is huge, and most beginners don't realize it. You don't trust your music yet. You're not sure which songs go together. You have some idea of some of the songs that you may have ideas for, but you still can't get them together. You're just not sure when to bring the next track in and when to get in and out of each track. You're just guessing. And all of that creates hesitation and a real lack of confidence. That's really what happens. The hesitation kills the confidence. But here's the shift: confidence doesn't come from skill first, it comes from knowing your music. When you understand your songs, the song structure, the energy, everything starts to feel easier. In fact, most DJs practice wrong. They think that most of the time should be spent on the actual physical gear, and that would be practice time. When in reality, 70% of your time, in my opinion, should be based on breaking down the songs. We like to look at a 70-30 rule. 70% off of the decks, focused on downloading music, organizing that music, setting hot cues, breaking down the songs. 30% actually on the decks. You'll see your confidence start to skyrocket once you know your music. Here's another big reason people quit: there's no real goal, there's no deadline, there's no moment that you're anticipating. You just say, I want to learn how to DJ, but there's nothing pulling you forward. There's no first performance, there's no event coming up, there's no reason to actually prepare and even to practice. And here's what I've seen over and over and over again over the years: people don't quit because they're lazy, they quit because there's nothing on the calendar. So, what do you do if you don't have a gig? Make one up. That's right. Make up an actual date that you're working towards. I often say practice needs to have two things. Number one, you need to practice with a purpose. And then number two, you need to practice with a project in mind. If you don't have a project in mind, something that you're aiming towards, something you're trying to finish, the practice starts to become boring. The practice starts to become pointless. And that's when practice stops and comes to a halt. And that's when your controller starts to collect dust. So, how do you not become one of the people who quit? It's actually quite simple. Here's 5 steps, and even if you just do one of these, you will see a huge difference. Number 1, shrink the goal. Don't try to learn everything. Focus on one transition, one skill, one small win. Try to get 1% better. Number 2, follow a path. Stop jumping around between random tutorials. Find a progression and stick to it. Find somebody that you can trust and follow their method. That could be me. That could be one of my fellow YouTube folks that are out here. That could be me. That could be somebody else. As long as you find somebody that you can trust and they've got progressive learning that can take you step by step and stick to it. Third, practice with purpose. Even 20 to 30 minutes with intention goes a long way. Way better than binge practicing. Don't think that you need 4 hours to sit down and practice. You need 20 minutes, maybe twice a week. Even 20 to 30 minutes with intention goes a long way. Instead of trying to practice 4 hours on a Saturday, try to break this up. Try to do 30 minutes 3 times a week. I know that that's less hours, but it's actually building a better habit in you. And it's trying to teach you that you can actually do this without having one big block of time to be able to dedicate to DJing. In fact, we see people go further because now they're immersed in DJing that way. Number 4, build a small set. 5 to 10 songs that you really know. Not hundreds, not downloading terabytes worth of music, just 5 to 10 songs that you really know. And finally, Our fifth one, set a performance date, even if it's just for friends or family, because when something is on the calendar, you show up differently. Here's the truth, you don't need to be great to keep going, you just need to not quit. And if you've made it this far in the video, you're already ahead of most people who started. The DJs who make it are the ones who stay in the game. If this video helped you out, make sure you hit like and subscribe and check out this next video here where I break down exactly how to practice as a beginner DJ so you can actually see progress every time you sit down. I'll see you in the next one.